Hello, ladies, and welcome to the Beauty Shaman. So today I'm going to do a Valentine's Day special about dating and relationships because many of you are out there in the dating world, as am I. And so what do you do at Valentine's Day when it comes to the dating world? So today I invited my friend and a woman I think does an amazing job at helping women over 50 find love, Lisa Copeland. She is a love coach and dating expert. I always get that messed up. So thank you so much, Lisa, for joining me today.
Oh, thanks for having me here. This is a tough topic for women, Valentine's Day.
It is. It's a very tough topic. I think we either get very lonely and sad, or, maybe we're in a relationship and we think, okay, what do I expect? Or maybe we're just needing to get out there. So what I thought we would do today is kind of go through the gamut. Like we can start with, you're not in a relationship. You have your schedule's open. You have some of those feelings of, maybe longing. So what do you do? What are some tips you could give women that are single right now?
Well, this is a great time to nurture you. Make yourself your own Valentine. Like ultimately, I tell women, you are the prize for men. To be the prize, you need to feel like the prize. And part of that is spoiling yourself. And Valentine's Day is a perfect time to do that. I have a client that made reservations at a restaurant. She's going by herself, and she is so excited to do this because she thinks I need to nurture me. And it's wonderful. You can also schedule a massage, you can get together with friends, or you could be at home and really do something, go and buy yourself something like a new book that you've wanted or a bottle of wine that you've wanted. Take a bubble bath, do things that really nurture you that day. Because we have an expectation it has to come from someone else, but actually the nurturing starts from within ourselves.
So this took me a really long time to figure out, was that the love and the acceptance and the nurturing and all of that comes from me. It doesn't come from external people or situations or when I get the right relationship, then kind of mentality, which is a very unhappy way to live, because then you're putting all these expectations onto the other person as opposed to having that within yourself. And I think Valentine's Day is a great kind of key point of how are we doing with that? Like, how is our inner compass doing as far as self-care and self-love? So would you agree?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And when you set up expectations that someone else has to provide it,
Oh,
you
yeah.
are actually setting yourself up to fail
Yeah.
because they're probably never going to do it right or never going to do it the way you want it. So when you're in a relationship with someone, it's good to have no expectation of what you think should be or the way you think it should be. Instead, have gratitude for them just wanting to take you out or for wanting to give you a gift that means something to them. And for yourself, though, you can have an expectation of, I'm going to really give to myself this Valentine's Day, and I'm the prize within me first.
Yes. One of my friends used to say, you are the gold. And I love that idea of the gold isn't something that someone gives you or that you earn. Like we have such a weird kind of twisted idea around money, but also around ourselves. Like, well, we have to look a certain way. And that was always very confusing for me because I used to be a model. And so there's like so much of an emphasis externally. And I think going internal is such a valuable thing because you really do let go of all that. You become much more
Hmm.
yourself, much more at peace, much more comfortable with yourself. And so nurturing yourself through Valentine's Day is like, you know what to do, right? You automatically can go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best thing. Do something nice for yourself. We as women have such a hard time giving ourselves a gift or giving ourselves anything. We're very able to give an expensive something or another to our children or our grandchildren or other people in our lives. Valentine's Day is a great time to say, I'm worth doing something special for me.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, let's move into the next type of person. You're in a relationship, it's fairly new, and excuse my cough, and you don't know what to do. Like, do I get him a gift? Is he going to get me a gift? Should I, I think again, we're back to kind of expectations. But if you're in a relationship, there's, you're kind of thinking, okay, they are going to do something for me. But, when I was growing up, it was the man showed up with flowers and chocolate, kind of this very traditional mentality. And that's changed a lot. So let's talk about that. If people are in a relationship.
Well, if you're just starting to date someone, there really is no expectation. A great thing to do, he may bring you flowers. A great thing to do, bake him cookies. What guy doesn't love a good cookie, a good Toll House chocolate chip cookie, or whatever you bake really well? You can't go wrong. And if he shows up with nothing, then you don't have to bring those cookies out. And if he shows up with something, then bring the cookies out, because the cookies took your time and he'll think, oh, she thought about me. If you're in a relationship that's been going on for a while, you might want to just have a discussion about, what are we doing for Valentine's Day this year? Are we doing gifts? Are we not? Because that's a whole different area, relationship area. And that is figuring out how you want the relationship to look. And whereas when you're just starting to date, that's a really iffy area. And that's why you do something like cookies. They're perfect. Or give them a coupon to make them dinner some other time, something like that.
So it seems like really you shouldn't have expectations tied to it when it's a fairly new relationship. That really you should just kind of have your own strategy, but don't bring it up, kind of let it lie. I mean, it's a point, right? Women wonder what to do.
Right. And you don't want to be aggressive and say, I got you a gift.
Right.
So a homemade gift is just a really nice thing to do. And like I said, you don't have to produce it. If he produces nothing, then you don't have to. But let's say you go out to dinner and he produces flowers at dinner or something. You can say, well, I have something special for you at home. And that's when you give him the cookies. And really, men don't have someone cooking for them. They have to do that on their own. And when you make something for them, it means a lot to them.
Well, I think that's true even when we're talking about a long-term relationship, that doing something sweet like that is really, it means a lot. And I think sometimes as women, we forget how much that means to a guy to do something that's very, very loving, like a meal, or a really love, like cookies, like you said, or even if you
Yeah.
sew, I don't know, like just that kind of love. That's what I think men miss a lot, it seems like.
If you're in a relationship, a really nice thing to do is make a coupon book. You could have this for one dinner. This is a coupon for one dinner of your choice, or cookies that you love, or some type of intimacy thing included in there too. And then you can sign Happy Valentine's Day. Now, the trouble is if you have not had this discussion before, if you're in a relationship and you haven't had this discussion before, you're going to get mad, because let's say he doesn't come home with anything and you've made this coupon book and you expected something. He is not a mind reader. He may not bring it up because it's not as big a deal for him. But so you really, if you're in a true relationship, you need to have that discussion. What are we going to do?
And I've heard of a lot of women kind of saying, hey, I want, and what they want is more than what the guy anticipated spending. And I think that can get a bit dicey, a bit tricky. I knew one woman who was constantly dissatisfied with what her husband was giving her, or her partner. I can't remember if they're married or not at that point. But I think that's kind of tricky. So maybe you could put some language around this for women. Like, how do we bring this up in a non-aggressive,
Yeah.
but still getting what you want? I think that's a hard area for women a lot.
I think it is too, because we can expect super huge gifts, and that is not fair unless you've talked about it. So you can say to him, honey, can we talk about something? I'm sorry about my dog. He's protecting me. A
That's
typical
okay.
male
That's
who wants to keep
okay.
you safe and protected. Somebody's outside in the window. Actually, no one is now, but he thinks there is. Anyway, so you can have a discussion by saying, honey, can we talk about Valentine's Day? And then he may say yes. And you can say, I was thinking about gifts, and I was feeling like I didn't want to put too much of an expectation on it. So can we talk about what we would like to do about gifts? Now, I have to say that if you've been in a relationship long enough and everybody is financially fine and can buy their own stuff, those homemade gifts really do mean a lot more. I'm saying this off the record, not what you're saying to the guy, but you can't say that to a guy. Or you guys can come to a point of deciding, well, let's plan on spending this amount together, or let's do something together and give our relationship a Valentine's gift, like go do massages together, or um, go to dinner together, or go, whatever. It doesn't, you got to let go of expectation. It's a time to be creative, and it's a time to really have a frank discussion for how you're going to handle gifts, not just Valentine's Day, but every other holiday as well.
And I think those kind of conversations are super important. I think men really appreciate it because then they can do something that is
Mhm.
appropriate. And a lot of times I find it's hard not only for women to put language around expectations, but men too, because they want to be the provider. They want to give you what you want. They want you
I
to
want
be
to make you
happy.
happy.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they can get a little stuck, I think, with what does this look like? And I think as
And
women, we can go ahead. Yeah.
oh, you can set them up to fail that way too. If you don't have this discussion, you can really set them up to fail at what they're going to do, because you won't ever be happy. And if you're not happy, you're training a man to stop giving to you. So next Valentine's Day, he might say, "Forget it," or
Yeah.
give you something that is so impersonal that it could have come from the neighbor across the street.
Yeah, and I think that's what we don't want to do. We don't want to lose their heart, right? And I think if you
Right.
have those too high of expectations, that after a while it's like they just kind of stop. And it's interesting. I actually don't think it is necessarily a monetary issue. Because the woman I'm speaking about they were very wealthy. They were like in the top 1%. And her idea of a
Hmm.
birthday gift was going to Italy for a month. I mean, she had like these
Yeah.
wild expectations. And I was like, I would take a bracelet. Like, I mean, so I don't think it was like I was married at the time, but I don't think that's really the issue. I think it's more just, meeting in the middle, learning to communicate about expectations and values and
For
that
sure.
sort of thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
And a man doesn't want to feel taken advantage of either. Like your demand, or have a woman demand. I think that's one of the biggest turnoffs to men, is when you demand, this is what I have to be happy. And you can also give a man parameters, like, oh, I think a great gift might be just flowers, and then let him go pick out what he wants. Or, get really clear. Valentine's Day is sort of a made up holiday anyway, I think,
Yeah.
for the card companies to make a lot of money. So it's not really that significant of a holiday, except we've made it significant because it's everywhere now. The card companies have created it everywhere. It's a great time for retail stores to make some more money after Christmas. And so you got to get really clear. This is not a significant holiday. Don't bank your relationship on what he gives you, but definitely have a conversation. And if you're single, definitely take care of yourself and give yourself a bobble or a
Yeah.
trip. A
Yeah.
lot of people travel solo
Oh,
these
I do
days.
all the time. I have to say, I
Mhm.
mean, I'm not in a relationship, and I just love it, man. I go all over the place. I don't have any
Mhm.
restrictions. I mean, I have kids, so I have a little bit of restriction, but oh, it's so freeing and lovely. You can go wherever you want, and I love to be alone, so it's all it kind of works for me. But I think we have to figure all that out on our own. So what does self care
Yes.
mean to me? How can I feel really nourished and cared for?
Yes. That's right. Hmm.
Great. Well, so let's just kind of wrap this up. What advice would you give somebody who is looking for a relationship, and because you are a dating coach, you are a phenomenal dating coach. You
Yeah.
specialize
Thank
in
you.
women over 50, which is such an interesting demographic because most of us are divorced. I mean, there's baggage, there's things going on. So this is definitely your field. So what kind of advice can you give women right now that are looking for a relationship?
Well, if you're looking for a relationship, first of all, come to my website, findaqualityman.com, and pick up my free ebook, 5 Little Tips for Finding a Quality Man. It'll kind of jumpstart you if you're stuck, if you have never dated, it'll get you moving forward. And then start paying attention to the blogs and all that I send out with ideals for you, because you want to start getting out there. But most people think, oh, got to put a profile online. That's really not the first thing. The first thing is you really want to make sure you are feeling like you're the prize, and you have a crystal clear vision of who you want and understanding of men. This is the greatest way to start. And if you want more information about that, reach out to me at lisa@findaqualityman.com. And that is something I help women with all the time, find love again after 50 with a good man. but that you also have to be good at being the prize yourself. And I can't emphasize that enough. And that will draw in a person that thinks you're the best, because you already feel it. And what we reflect out there is what we draw back into us.
Right. I totally agree with that. It's so much about that. I think as women figure that out, especially older women, I look at my teenagers, they know it, right? Older women, we're really grappling with this. So that's phenomenal advice. And don't you say you had a special or something that you wanted to offer to other viewers?
Yes, that 5 Little Known Secrets ebook at findaqualityman.com, because it'll give you some ideas of how to find love after 50, including a little bit about how to flirt and a template for writing your profile. And there's all kinds of things in it that will just give you some ideas that'll get you moving. And you can do that on Valentine's Day too. Get it and read it, and start getting, start planning for how you want to find love this year.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you, Lisa. I really appreciate all of your advice, and I'm sure the viewers do as well. Please just visit Lisa. I highly recommend her services. And thank you so much for watching the Beauty Shaman. And next time, we got to do this again, Lisa. We got to talk about love again. It's a huge topic.
Happy to do it, Suzanne. Always fun being with you.
Yes, absolutely. All right, ladies, have a great day, and thank you so much for watching.